Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the opposition preview with Flav, presenter extraordinaire of the Fighting Cock podcast, and of course Ball Street, that's where everybody knows him from as well. Tottenham fan, of course. But before we get into that, we have partnered up with our friends at DraftKings to bring you a free fantasy football contest for the match where you can win $2,000 worth of prizes. Click the link in the description, click the play free button, draft a lineup of players, and watch your lineup climb the leaderboard as you compete for a first place prize of $1,000. We've done our teams, Flav.
Yeah.
I am going to win this one.
Yeah.
Let's talk through the teams before we get into the game itself.
Yeah, well, I've gone for 3 Liverpool and 3 Spurs.
Hedged your bets.
I have, and mainly gone after your fullbacks in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, who have both been quality going forward. You know, the width is so important for Liverpool and their ability to get forward and get that.
And they're a little bit cheaper as well than the forward players.
Well, I started going big on. I was like, right, yeah, Salah, Eriksen, Ali, and then I had like 4,000 left to spend. I was like, well, this is bollocks. Anyway, so yeah, gone for Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, and then Lucas Moura, Dele Alli, and Eriksen. Sorry, 4 Spurs. Sissoko is my wild card. Mm-hmm. Scored 1 goal all season, but has been our best player. And I just think that getting to the final of the competition has been almost like a fairy tale already. So for Sissoko to score in this game is everything I can dream of.
Remarkably similar.
Have you really?
Yeah. So I've gone Sadio Mane because he's friggin' boss.
Yeah.
I've gone Lucas Moura because I think he's our most dangerous player. I've gone Trent, I've gone Robertson, and I've gone Virgil van Dijk because I'm thinking maybe a header from a corner. You kind of struggled a little bit with our corner routines and stuff throughout the season. And then I've thrown Jordan Henderson in there, who's just not a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Because I want him, because Liverpool fans have hated on him so much over the last few years, and they're just now starting to see how good Jordan Henderson is. It just feels like a great story if Hendo was to first of all lift the cup, but more importantly score a goal and win me $1,000 and not any of yous. Good.
I mean, if you talk about who deserves it, I think Sissoko deserves it.
I mean,
more.
Well, I deserve $1,000 more because I picked the best side.
Well, that's true, and it's remarkable that Sissoko could earn as much money as he had before this season, so he probably doesn't need the 1,000. But yeah, I mean, I've got a good chance there, I reckon. Lucas Moura, 3 goals. Yeah.
I friggin' hope not. Right, we are here to talk about Tottenham Hotspur first and foremost. The thing that I've struggled dealing with going into this game, though, Flav, is the weight. How have you preoccupied yourself?
Do you know what? I'm okay now. This is the only time I've felt okay about this game. It's weird. I've gone through the roller coaster of emotions. And I've gone through the nerves, the optimism, and I've kind of reached a nice equilibrium where I've still got nerves, but I'm not shitting myself about this game. Because we've never been here. We've never, since the Champions League has formed, we've never been in this position. We've had an incredible ride up into this position, and now it's just down to 2 teams. Who's going to be better on that day, and whoever is will win the Champions League. If Liverpool play better than Spurs and beat us, there's nothing I can do to influence that. I can watch, I can hope my team gets through and gets a result, but I can't do anything else other than just sit and hope and pray. And if it goes wrong, it won't destroy me. And if it goes well for Tottenham, then I'm going to love every minute of it, and it will be the best footballing moment of my career. So my career supporting Spurs. So look, in terms of coping with the weight, we've just got. This has been a benefit to Tottenham on the pitch because we've got players back. Harry Kane may be fit. Looks like he's definitely going to be in the squad. So it's helped us in that respect. But I think the actual process of having such a wait, is it 3 weeks since the last game, that it's you're able emotionally to go through this process. I have been, and now reach a point, as I say, where I'm quite calm.
What have Spurs been doing? Because Liverpool have, I think they had a holiday, they all went away, they weren't allowed to go on long haul flights, that was a few days, and then they came back, they did a training camp in Marbella, and then they're back into training obviously this week, and I think they're out there now, I'm sure Spurs are. What did Spurs do to prepare for the game?
They are out there, they went yesterday, and nothing, they went into training. They may have been given a couple of days, but certainly no one went on holiday or left. They went back into training, and obviously the stakes are similar for both Tottenham and Liverpool, but I think Tottenham have more to do to prepare for this. We've lost, 13 games, 19 games in total this season, which is way too many. But as both you and I know, it was the exact same amount of games lost by Liverpool in the year that they won it in 2005. I don't believe in omens.
I did know this, but only because Flav told me this.
Right, I've just been told. I just found it interesting. It doesn't mean anything. What I'm saying is we have to prepare more because we, man for man, aren't as good as Liverpool. We can be if we play to the top of our ability, but that's requiring a lot from a human being in such a grand stage. So we have to prepare. We have to do as much as we can. And I think it was the right thing to get the players back as soon as possible. What I have seen from the media that's come out of Tottenham is they're talking like they're going to lift the trophy, which is the right way to be. You have to visualise that. They have to. I can be stoical and I can look back at it and think, well, what happens, what will be. But from the players, they have to visualise and believe it, and they have to go through that process. And it's very positive. It feels from the club that they feel like they're going to do it, which is exactly what you hear. You don't want to hear like cryptic messages and all that stuff. You just want to see a positive team, and I imagine the same's coming out of Liverpool. I've done my best to avoid any content about Liverpool at all. I don't want to know about what's going on over there. I want to focus on what's going on at Tottenham, and then just watch that 90 minutes or 120 minutes, whatever it may be, hopefully not 120 minutes, and just try my best to enjoy it, but it'll be difficult.
So the big question mark as far as a Liverpool fan is concerning Tottenham is what formation are they going to play? I mean, we've seen you line up with 4 at the back against us, we've seen you line up with 3 at the back. What's your gut feeling on all this? Yeah,
we've switched around. Pochettino has a favourite formation this season, and it's changed each year. He kind of switches to a new favourite each year. It's been a diamond, 4-4-2 in a diamond in midfield.
Is Eriksen the point of that diamond?
Yeah, but it's been fluid as well. So you've been Dele and Eriksen swap positions. Lucas Moura will drop into the diamond, and so will Son, depending on their positions on the pitch. So it's very fluid. It isn't a rigid formation. It is quite narrow. And then you've got the only person who doesn't really come out of position would be Harry Kane, who leads the line as the target man. But then we've also played 3-4-3. We played a 4-2-3-1, and in some games we played all three of those formations. These switches around. We've had the best form playing the diamond, not necessarily against Liverpool, but against Ajax, where we were being absolutely torn apart with 3 at the back. We switched it, and we had to play 3 at the back in that instance because Sissoko wasn't fit to start. Sissoko came on in 20 minutes and changed the tie completely. As soon as he came on, Ajax couldn't get past him. In the same way that we managed to get past De Jong and showed the commitment and bravery to get past him through Sissoko's direct run-in, they couldn't do that the other way around. And, if Sissoko plays against Liverpool, we have every chance of lifting that trophy.
I read a really interesting article by, I forget who it's by, apologies, on Twitter this morning, and I think it was written for ESPN FC. It was about the goalkeepers. It was Alisson focused, but there was a large section of the article based on Hugo Lloris, and it kind of myth bust for me, because I thought that Hugo Lloris is a bit of a liability. I haven't seen him over the years when we've played, and obviously the memories from Anfield earlier on in the season and stuff.
Yeah.
But this article was explaining how he's very, very similar to Alisson in a lot of ways, how he's a very good goalkeeper at getting those hard-to-reach areas of the goal. He'll make unbelievable saves, but maybe if you hit a ball at him, he's not quite as comfortable and stuff. And he was rated, I think, the 3rd best goalkeeper on these new metrics that have been brought into football.
Yeah.
Is that something that you think of? You think Lloris is a great keeper? Because I know he's won the World Cup and stuff, but he doesn't have the reputation of a De Gea and Alisson and Ederson maybe outside of Tottenham.
But Lloris has been around for a long, long time, and throughout their careers, those goalkeepers will probably they might not be as in the cluster as Lloris, as we saw with Lloris. They made some high-profile errors within about 15 games. And if you see a goalkeeper do that, you think their head's gone, they're a bad keeper, and you focus on those parts rather than the other parts of his game where he saved us many times. It's a hard one because it's hard to not think about him rushing out against Barcelona and it being completely his fault to concede. It's hard him not to remember him rushing against PSV and getting sent off. These are game-changing moments and reasons why we lost those games based on his decisions. But going into this game, he was one of our form players. Against Dortmund, away, when it was clear that we were going to be under the cosh for large parts of the game because they were coming after us after being 3-0 down. He made so many gilt-edged saves that you can't look at him and think quality. Also, there is the subtext around the season when he got done for drink driving, and that's like, it wasn't just a few beers. He was fucked and being sick in his car and stuff. So you're thinking, well, hang on, let's question his character here. Is this someone who should be captain in our football club? You know, someone could have got killed. So there's all of that. But if you look at his form over the last couple of months, it's been superb, absolutely superb. His distribution's improved, his shot stopping's been excellent, but you can't help that you think that at any moment he could throw the ball in his own net. So look, if you look at the stats, you should feel comfortable, but you know, it's hard to do that as a fan. You think every time the ball gets put back to him, I can see him just lifting his foot like we saw in the Championship.
I thought you were going to see the Champions League final last year with Karius then.
Oh, well, yeah, all like that. All like that.
And they're heartbreaking moments, mate, especially in a final like that.
But Karius, it was clear Karius wasn't good enough for the standard you wanted, whereas Lloris many, many times has proved that he has the ability to play at a club like Spurs. I think he's reached his level. I don't see him ever going somewhere else. You know, Barcelona are not going to come and pick him up. So, we've got to persevere with him. Pochettino believes in him, and no doubt that he will be important if Spurs.
What about the story of this Spurs side in the Champions League this season? Does it feel like your name's sort of written on the cup almost?
Nah, but I understand why people say it, and you know that because the story was similar to Liverpool in 2005. So if those people that don't know, Spurs conceded in the last minute against Inter Milan in the first game of the Champions League group stages, which meant that we had to get a result in Barcelona in order to achieve 10 points. Because we thought that Barcelona will beat us at Wembley, which they did. So you're like, well, right, it's okay because we'll beat PSV, we'll beat Inter Milan at home, and we'll beat PSV away, which means a draw will give us 10 points. But we drew against PSV away, and then you're thinking, this is impossible. You got 1 point from 3 games. You need 10 to be guaranteed. The maximum we can get if we beat Barcelona is 9. You're like, well, we can't go through. We got through on 8 points because Inter Milan fluffed their lines against PSV at home. We only knew that we were through when Lucas Moura scored in the 85th minute, and we had a 4-minute wait after final whistle for
the result.
Yeah, the result. And in the stadium, the Spurs fans thought that the game was over and they'd drawn and we were through, and they were celebrating. I was at the bar where we watch it at Spurs. Spurs fans are celebrating, the players are celebrating, and we're still watching Inter Milan going on. So we're like, what is going on? Anyway, as it turns out, Inter Milan draw, we go through, get Dortmund. And Dortmund are flying at this point. Dortmund are absolutely, like, they're 9 points clear in the Bundesliga. Play them at home, we beat them 3-0. They were good, but we beat them 3-0. A lot of hype around Jadon Sancho. We beat them 3-0. We go out there, as I said, they pillared us for 30 minutes. We get one chance, Harry Kane scores it, and we're through, 4-0. You're like, all right, well, now it's a lottery. English teams, we can get them. Don't want Liverpool, because fuck that. And definitely don't want Man City. You know, I'd take Barcelona right now, Ajax, any of them. Just don't want the English clubs. At that point, Man City, probably the worst draw for us. Maybe Man City or Liverpool, but from our perspective, you saw Man City and you're like...
But didn't you have, like, when you got drawn Man City, you knew you were going to have, like, 3 times in 4 games or something like that as well?
Yeah. So
and you were close in the league at this point, weren't you? You weren't... Because you were, like, 2 points behind us for ages.
There was a moment.
And then 2019, is it your away form that's just gone...
Everything. All our league form dropped, you know. So, you know, Ken got injured and it really did affect us this time.
So, yeah, you're Man City.
So we've got Man City, yeah. You're like...
Got to print some VAR caps, or someone did.
Mate, you saw how we went through. You saw we did not deserve to go through. We shouldn't have got through. We were 50-50 first game at home. Pep Guardiola showed the arrogance that he has and didn't play as strong as he put De Bruyne on with 3 minutes to go when he was fully fit. Like, what prick does that? Anyway, we score and you think, right, that's 2 fingers up. The second game was madness. I've never lived through or gone through anything more stressful than that in my life. VAR's all over the shop. They score, we score 2. Then they're 4-2 up on the night, and you're like, well, we're done. It's over. We're holding on. Away goals. We're going for away goals. Holding on. And Sterling scores. And everyone in the place was just like crestfallen. There's all Spurs in this pub. People are walking out, fuck yeah, that again, fucking bottle job. And there was a girl, I've said this story a couple of times, there was a girl in a pub and she'd watched the screen and she was going, it was offside, it was fucking offside. And I was looking at her going like, you're being desperate now. So I'm coming on, you're being desperate. And then you look up at the screen and the guy just goes like this. And I swear to God, this girl went crazy because she knew, she'd seen it was offside. No one else had. I was looking at it going, that's a
great way to fucking kill a stereotype as well.
Yeah.
99% fellas, no one knew. No one knew the offside rule.
Just her. Yes. She's staring at the screen going crazy because she knew at any minute it was going to be ruled off no goal and we were going through to the semi-finals. And sure enough, it went and the place went absolutely ballistic. But shouldn't have gone through, really.
Did you see the video of the City fella outside the ground?
Yeah.
How good was that?
Obviously disappointing. We won.
You bell end, stay till the end.
Beautiful. And then you get Ajax, and you saw what happened. It's too recent to go through it again, but you know the story has been incredible. And if we do win it, then that's something that Spurs fans will be talking about, and the rest of football should be talking about for a long, long time, because no one thought Liverpool been there and done that, but no one thought Tottenham were getting there. No one, not even us.
So what about Kane? I mean, he's a massive talking point going into the game. Does he come straight in for you?
No, he doesn't. If he's fit, then if he's fully fit, then he plays. If he isn't, then you've got to lose him sparingly because it's 120 minutes, a long time. You know, if you start him, he's not going to last a game, you'd imagine. So it's about using your best players correctly and at the right time. So no, and it'd be really unfair on Lucas Moura because it'd probably be him that drops out. So if Lucas Moura doesn't play after, you know, it was a massive, massive part in the fact that we're there, it'd be unfair on him. But in the Champions League final, it shouldn't be. It's not about feelings, is it? It's about playing your best team. And I think if Kane isn't, it's not about playing 80% fit Kane. You can't, not against Liverpool, not on this stage. You play him in a way that you can get the best out of him. And it's going to be a long game. And I think he's going to have a massive role to play. But I don't think he starts, no. I think Lucas Moura and Son start up top.
Final question about the game then. I mean, are you confident that you can walk away with the European Cup?
I visualise it. I visualise it 100 times a day. It's a game, I'm really trying hard not to use cliches because it doesn't matter what's happened before and your name isn't written on the cup. All that stuff's bollocks. There is no destiny. There's no such thing in the world as fate. Shit just happens. So this 90 minutes of football is a game of football in itself. And you look at it, you think, like, if you're betting on it, you bet on Liverpool. You do. I appreciate it, I accept it, I understand it. But we're a good team. And we've seen many, many times that this sort of Spursy tag, perhaps this season at least, shouldn't be thrown at us because we have come through. We have delivered in the biggest moments, in the highest pressure moments, when everything had said that Spurs were down and out. We've managed to find a way of getting through. That's not Spursy. That's showing an unbridled belief in yourself. So if we can do that, then why can't we do it one more time?
Okay. And you know, last question then. It's not on the game. The tickets and stuff like that. I mean, your brothers are going out there. You weren't able to get a ticket. You'll be hosting your own show, I think, in London and stuff.
We've got a pub and we'll be drinking. There'll be no show.
Oh, brilliant. That's even better.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
The idea of us talking in front of actual people is much more different.
What is it? Has it surprised you all this, the ticketing and how few go to the actual fans?
Because it's the same in FA Cup and League Cup. You know, not enough tickets go to supporters. That's always been an issue. England games are the same as well. You know, you've got this massive stadium. What is it? What does the Atletico Stadium hold?
67, something like that, I think.
Why isn't it at Real Madrid? It's a bigger stadium. Just put it there. Who gives a shit if it's new? No one gives a fuck if it's played in that stadium. Put it in the biggest stadium. Give more tickets to fans. Allow them to go. It's frustrating because not only do fans not end up going to the game, but you get these scumbags ripping people off as well. They know how desperate people are. They know how much money they take. They take fake notes. They buy real tickets. Give the fake money over to the supporter because they think this is an offer I can't refuse. End up with like 200 quid in their hand and 7 grand of fake bills. And this geezer walks off a legitimate ticket selling it for real money when he's out there. That's the shit that's happening as a result of limited tickets given to fans. The problem though, and I've talked about this last week, and I mentioned to you about this caveat that I've got, is the problem is bigger than fans ripping each other off and sponsors getting too many tickets. The problem is the flow of money through football. And clubs, as you mentioned about when you was at, I'm not sure if I'm going to mention this, so I'll leave it there, but clubs are very expensive things to run. Players are drawing huge amounts of money out of a football club. And so much of that money isn't coming from matchday going fans. It's coming from sponsors. It's coming from global syndication of the game. And the players that we celebrate, I want Harry Kane to sign a new contract. It will cost 300 grand if we give him a new contract. That money's got to come from somewhere, and it's definitely not only coming from my tickets. It's coming from fans all over the globe. And in order for them to get to see that football, they have to pay money to these syndicate broadcasters who will make decisions on who they spend, on how they spend, and how much they spend, on how well they're treated at things like Champions League finals. And I think, look, I don't agree with this. I don't want it to be this way, but this is the way I see football becoming and why it can be such a cynical and poisonous sport to fall in love with, is that UEFA or FIFA are going to look at these 5 people that have the power to make decisions on where the money flows in European football, and then 50,000 fans that are complaining that they're not being placated because they want more tickets. They're never going to look at these guys and think, well, we care about their feelings more than we care about their banknotes. So while more tickets should be given to fans, it requires a movement outside of just focusing on how much ticket allocation at a game like this. And I think a part of that attention needs to be looking at our own players and their agents. And the rule of thumb here is, well, we understand a player is right to earn as much money as he can. But this is the impact. Mo Salah, Kane.
So this is almost, you've gone back down the line, and it's the players that are getting the money and the agents.
Yeah. And executives.
So you're pulling on the thread, essentially.
I'm just looking, the symptom is the fact that we ain't got enough tickets, but the cause is where the money's going. And I think the way to stop this stuff is, and the fans are complicit as well to a certain degree, because everyone wants the best players to stay at their football club. No, I'm not going to go and say, well, I don't want Kane to get extra 100 grand a week because I might not get a ticket in a final that my club may never get to.
Because you maybe don't realise that that's the implication.
Yeah, and I think there's wider implications than that, the bigger ones. So it's a good cause to focus on, and something that we all want more of. And it'll be about attacking these sponsors and saying, like the Spirit Shankly and the Trust did, and saying, look, do the right thing here. Show your company.
How can no one take them up on that? It's baffling.
Because they don't give a shit.
It's mad. You know what does my head in about it all, Flav? And it'd be interesting to get your take on it. And I've said this over the course of the last few years. 3rd European final in the last 4 years. So we've experienced this a few times.
Yeah.
Is that forget the ticket thing. I understand that to a certain degree, that you've got your sponsors and they're all agreed. What I don't get, and what really pisses me off, is that the sponsors all know that they're going to the Champions League final months and months in advance. So all the hotels are full.
Yeah.
Or close to capacity, which drives the price up.
Yeah.
All the flights are full. So by the time 3 weeks before that you're going there, all the fucking hotels have already put the price up. Even if you're first, you're paying well over the odds because all the sponsors have booked up months and months ago.
Yeah.
And but that's the thing that drives me insane. It's like your EasyJet of this world and all that type of stuff. Who've then decided that we're going to put the prices up here and we're going to do that, and Virgin do it on the trains in this country. And
it's a scale of comedy, isn't it?
It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
The price should be the price.
Yeah. I mean, but it isn't, is it? The reason why
we don't live in a barter culture.
Well, look,
so you shouldn't be.
You live at there is a scale of economy though, and if they can sell tickets for 40 quid early on, they will, knowing that they're going to lose money on those seats in the hope that the plane gets full and then the last customers who come along get stripped. But
so you're saying they use that to get the same money per plane?
I'm saying they use opportunities like this to make vast amounts of profits on other, whereas in order to be able to sell tickets they wouldn't normally be able to sell. Look,
for your flight to Ireland 3 months earlier.
Exactly, they know they have to sell those to keep these planes full and going out, whereas they may lose money in the hope that, or knowing that there's going to be these tentpole moments in the future that they can stripe supporters or whoever. It might be fucking Ariana Grande fans that are flying in for whatever it is. Everybody gets screwed by these airline fares, and it's bollocks. But when you live in a capitalist country like we do, sometimes you benefit from it, and you also get punished for it. You look at a bigger criminal, a bigger crime is this Baku thing. Going out there. Although I'm going to put my hands up here, this is going to be controversial, right? But hopefully there won't be many Arsenal or Chelsea fans watching this. Liverpool and Tottenham would not fucking return tickets going to Baku. Not a chance. I'd swim there.
Do you know, like, I'm not having a go at Arsenal fans here, but how many Arsenal, like, they went to Karabag, and that's Karabag Stadium, innit? How many did they take there? And why weren't we hearing about how bad it was from the Arsenal fans when they went to Karabag?
Great point.
Like, genuine. We went to Kiev last year, it was a fucking nightmare, and it costs a lot of money, don't get me wrong, so I understand that, and I really do understand that it's a ridiculous distance to have to travel, but they're just as entitled to hold a European final, because they are in Europe, whether you think they're close to Asia
Mad,
or
though,
not.
Innit?
The problem is the ethical questions around the country and all that with the Mkhitaryan stuff. That's the big issue for me, not how far away it is.
Yeah, no, and absolutely, and Arsenal fans should have been campaigning from day one, but it was only they were only campaigning when it started to affect them, and that's the problem, innit? People start campaigning way too late. If it's about Mkhitaryan, and as it should be, a player should never be able to, certainly in Europe, be prevented from playing because they fear safety. But Arsenal Fan TV and whoever else should have been campaigning about this from the start. If we get to Baku, one of our best players can't play. But the problem with our society and people in it is they only campaign when it affects them. And that's why the voices are very generally, unheard or unlistened to.
Well, we'll have to be on the picket line together next season, mate. If we can look each other in the face. What's your score prediction for the game?
I think it'll be a while afterwards until we should sort of keep each other away from each other for a while.
Oh, I'm going to delete your number.
Yeah.
If we lose.
Yeah.
If we win, I'm going to pepper it.
Do you follow me on Twitter? Yeah, you do. Of course you do. Silly question, isn't it?
I don't know.
Silly question. But
Score prediction.
Mute me, please, because I don't want to have to restrain. So mute me now.
I will.
All right. I think Spurs are going to win 2-1.
Okay. Brilliant, Flav. Absolute pleasure talking to you.
I love you, Chris.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video. If you are of the Spurs inclination, you're over here because of him, and you don't follow him, it's @LoveTheShirt, I believe. Is that right?
If they don't follow me, and they're somehow here, then I'm not interested.
Okay, well, don't follow him then.
No.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ta-ra.